Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jane. Welcome to your June 2025 tarot card reading. But before we get into the cards, I just wanted to make a very quick announcement letting y'all know that now that Saturn has officially moved into Aries, now he's conjunct Neptune, we also have Jupiter moving into Cancer this month too, as of June 9th. So if you're interested in getting an idea of how these transits are happening, how they're affecting your chart, the areas of life that will be affected, and really how to navigate these transits to kind of maximize your success with them. I do have a private reading option available for that. So all that information will be in the description box in the comment thread down below if you feel like checking it out. Now would be the perfect time to kind of get yourself prepared, especially for Jupiter in Cancer, which is his sign of exaltation, which is beautiful. So I look forward to that. So please feel free to do that. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the cards. Hello Libra, and once again, welcome to your June 2025 tarot card reading. We're going to get started here with an animal spirit card from an oracle card from my animal spirit deck. Let's see, this card. All right, it says trust in the magic. Now, this also kind of makes me want to say not only to trust in the magic, but to also trust in the process, that the magic and the process are one and of the same, and that you don't necessarily have to have everything so perfect. And you know, one of the things I talk to my Libras about all the time is their perfectionism. We always say that about Virgo, right? It's always Virgo, perfectionist, but I actually see many Libras deal with that as well. And I don't know that this is the right time for perfection, but it is time for execution. And it's not time to resist or hold back or prevent yourself from doing things. It's a time to just kind of do a slow and steady wins the race type of approach, right? Kind of one step in front of the other, and just continually see progress on a daily basis or a regular basis, if not daily, okay? So let's go ahead and see what else comes through with the Greek mythology deck. What do you need to know here? We have a card that says humility. And honestly, the process probably is pretty humbling, right? Because it's like, okay, there's things we have to do and we don't have time. We don't have room for pride. We don't have room for arrogance. We don't have room for any of that. So I do think Libra, you are going to be humbled by the work that's in front of you, humbled by the magic itself. I don't want to take magic completely out of the equation because it's here literally written on the card. So there is going to be magic and there are going to be these little miracles. And I think that as you proceed and continue to show up for yourself on a regular basis, the more magic you'll see and the more humble you'll be. And I think in turn, the more grateful you'll be. You'll be grateful for those little miracles and grateful for those little things that kind of push things along in your favor. Okay, so let's see what else comes through for you, Libra, with the tarot cards. Starting with 3 cards. We have the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Swords, which is one of the Libra cards. And we have 4 points. So the Knight of Cups feels optimistic to me, and it feels like there's an enjoyment of what you're doing. You kind of romanticize this process and you have big dreams, and I think you're willing to really go after those dreams. But with the Queen of Swords, it also indicates, you know, an air of responsibility, a little bit of a harshness in terms of like decision making and the execution of those decisions. See, one of the things that I don't really like about the Knight of Cups is he sometimes wanders or meanders, and he doesn't always really have a sense of direction or even an urgency. Now, I don't necessarily know that you have to be urgent right now. I don't know that it's like, hurry up and do it. But I do think there has to be something that kind of keeps you in line, because that Knight of Cups can sometimes be like, oh, I'll kind of do it tomorrow, or I'll, maybe there's a little procrastination there, or there's a little kind of circuitous approach. But I think the Queen of Swords kind of steps in and says, we can't really do that. We can't have this, well, circuitous approach. We can't do it that way. We have to kind of go more straight. And we have to say, okay, today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do these tasks. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do these other ones. And then the next day I'm going to do these other ones. And that's what's going to get me to the goal. One of the things that I have been kind of hounding on has been this South Node in Virgo, simply because I think it's really bringing this like attention and focus on the day-to-day. Now, we can't ever really escape that. That's always going to be a part of life. The everyday stuff is always going to be a part of everyday life, obviously. But I think there's an added emphasis on the importance of those smaller building blocks in terms of how to use those smaller tasks to build the big picture, which is the North Node is in Pisces. How do we build that dream? And so the Queen of Swords doesn't really let us get away with it, right? There, like I say, there's a sense of responsibility there. And with the Four of Coins, I kind of feel like there's been a rigidity. There has been a stuckness or a stubbornness that maybe you've been dealing with. Maybe there is a little bit of pride that has kind of come through, and it has kept you stationary. And the Queen of Swords, I think she's looking at that and she's saying, neither one of these approaches, like this just isn't working anymore. And the Four of Coins feels too restricted. It's too scarce. There's definitely a lot more out there for me than just these Four of Coins. This is not enough. And this whole like meandering, wandering thing also probably is not serving me all that well. Not to say you haven't achieved anything under the Knight of Cups energy. Not to say that you haven't still met certain goals and whatnot. I'm sure you have. But I think Libra's just feeling this need for change. Now, we've got a lot of stuff going on in Aries right now. Okay, Saturn is now officially in Aries. So I think that's kind of what's going on, is Saturn is kind of saying, all right, Libra, time to tighten up. All right, it's time to reflect back on your inner world, your inner space, and it's time to just dot those T's or dot those I's and cross those T's, take care of the details and just button everything up. Okay. And I know that we've had so much Pisces lately, which has been so much sixth house energy. And now I feel like the sixth house stuff is going to be a little bit easier. Those everyday tasks, it's going to be a little easier for Libra to stay on track. So let's see what else comes through here for Libra as we continue on through Gemini season through the rest of June. And then we'll pull out for, Cancer season as well as we enter the last couple weeks. We have the 10 of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and then the 2 of Wands. 10 of Cups signifying some success, some joy. Now, one thing that is happening on June 9th that we have to talk about is Jupiter coming into Cancer, which means he's crossing over into that 10th house. Now, this is a prominent place for Jupiter to be. He is in exaltation in Cancer, so it means he's very strong. And I wouldn't be surprised if Libra felt some kind of inflated energy regarding their career or some other aspect of life, feeling like things are, I'm not going to say perfect or things are going exactly according to plan, but I think you're going to feel even more now, I think you've been feeling optimistic about things, but now I feel like there are going to be things that you look at and say, okay, this is the reason why I've been feeling optimistic. You start to see things come to fruition. You start to see things happening. You start to see things form. You see opportunities coming through. And I think there's a groove. It's almost as though you're kind of finding your groove a little bit and finding something that brings a sense of purpose and brings a sense of joy. Now, with the Queen of Swords, remember, you have to be a bit brutal and you have to have some strong boundaries and a strong sense of where you want to go, and then start making decisions according to that. Because if you don't have a clear sense of where you want to go, you're not going to make clear decisions, and you're going to allow for things to kind of muddy up the waters, if you will. So you're going to have to be able to be firm, and you're going to have to be able to say no to more things than you say yes to. And in fact, even with the Four of Cups, I see you saying no a lot. You're going to say no to a lot of things and a lot of people and a lot of opportunities, and you're going to become inaccessible. Because when you think of your life and you think of the dreams that you have for your life, and you think of what it's going to take for those things to come to fruition, it's going to be clear for you, at least right now. Maybe not always, you may not always have that clarity, but for you right now, you are going to know for sure whether this applies to this future goal or not. And with the Two of Wands even, I see you being so focused and so determined and so magnetic. Okay. Now, if you're not feeling any of this, and if this doesn't resonate, you may still be here in the Knight of Cups energy, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It just hasn't quite landed on anything yet. And what I would urge you to do is to really think about the kind of lifestyle that you want to live. What kind of freedom do you want to have? What kind of financial freedom do you want to have? What kind of relationship do you want to have? Romantically, friendship, whatever. And kind of use that as a guide. Okay? And just on a small, everyday, regular basis, ask yourself, does this seem to be something that will really fit in that life, or does this seem to be something that will shape me into that lifestyle or not? And maybe it takes some practice for some Libras to be a little bit more firm and to be a little more direct and more commanding, because right now I think what you're doing as that Queen of Swords is you are commanding the world and the earth and physical matter to kind of shape around you by simply what you do and do not allow. I feel like that Four of Coins is somewhat exhaustive, right? That there's some kind of area where you've been stuck and it's getting exhausting. And I think Libra just doesn't want to be tired anymore. You don't want to be exhausted anymore. You don't want to feel that drain of energy anymore. So that's what's really driving this. It seems like you've gotten fed up with something and you've decided no more. And with the Four of Cups, I'm not going to tell you that there aren't going to be offers that come in. The thing is that with the Four of Cups, now we'll see what happens with the clarifiers, with the comprehensive reading. I'm not sure what will come out. But as it stands, this Four of Cups feels like, yes, there are going to be offers that come in. There are going to be ideas. There are going to be opinions. There are going to be people who are going to want to kind of get their little hands in what you've got going on somehow. And you are just simply like, no. I don't need it. I don't need your help. I don't need your opinion. It's not that they don't, not that you're completely disregarding everything and everyone. It's just, you know what you want to accept and you know what you don't. And most of the things you're going to say no to. Most of the things. And I look at this Two of Wands and I see the visual, right? I see that you can see this vision of what you want your life to look like. And to me, this is like strong business acumen, right? This is someone who has a vision and then they build and erect structures to support that vision. They build systems, they build machines, they build empires, and I'm being a little bit extra with my language as I'm talking in big words, but you have to get yourself there. Like if you want wealth, very generically, you want wealth, financial wealth, Well, you're going to need a certain amount of revenue, right? That's maybe the first thing. And you're going to need an investment strategy. You're going to need to figure out where to put that money so it can grow, so it can develop new cash flow. And what are you going to do with that cash flow? Are you going to reinvest it? Are you going to spend it on this? Like, what are you going to do? Right? So you need the system in place. I think right now, Libra, you're focused on the systems. Okay, which is a good thing. That's where you should be, because it's the systems that are going to support everything. So as we move into Cancer season, now remember, Jupiter moves into Cancer on the 9th. On the 20th, the Sun will move into Cancer, and then it's going to move into a Sun-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, which again, prominently placed in your 10th house. It's a very public house. And I wouldn't be surprised if Libra, you start now, again, I'm not going to say all of y'all are going to be famous or anything like that, but there does seem to be, an opportunity for recognition, an opportunity to be seen or to be chosen. I see here with the Empress card that there's certainly a degree of value, that you are being recognized for the value that you bring and hold. Maybe there is payment for that, maybe not, it might just be public recognition or something along those lines. But what I like too about the Empress is not just the recognition part, but it's her ability to bring things into manifested form. That's the goal, right? It's not just about the process of manifesting or the wanting, it's about the actual having. And I look at the Empress and I say, she's not going to settle for things just to be continually an idea form, right? That's not good enough for an Empress. An Empress wants real things in real form, and she is going to want to do whatever it takes to make sure that things come to fruition. So she's not just going to let us get away with stuff. Neither is that Queen of Swords. I think that Knight of Cups up here, he would let us get away with stuff. He would say, next week we'll do it, or, oh, we'll do it at some point, or, oh, I meant to do that, I forgot, oh, it's fine, He would let us get away with it. He's not really all that rigid. He's more relaxed and lackadaisical. But the Queen of Swords and the Empress, they're just not going to do that. They're going to hold you to the fire, and they're going to say, now's the time, Libra. Now is the time to actually have it, and to experience it, and to enjoy it, and to get yourself to the next phase of life. And Cancer season also seems to bring something quite positive with social connections. Seems to bring connection, communication, collaboration, but fun, like in a fun way, where you talk to people, you laugh, maybe you go out, you have a nice dinner, you kind of open yourself up. And this may or may not have anything to do with the vision, but I think it puts you in a good vibe. It puts you in a good space. It elevates your heart. It elevates your thought processes. It helps you to see what else is possible, especially if you are surrounding yourself with people that are also achieving things, right? So this may be your call to join some kind of a group or some kind of a coaching thing, or go to this conference or something along those lines, so that you can surround yourself with like-minded people who are driven like you, who are entrepreneurial like you, who are creative like you, and who are kind of wanting to build similar things as you, so you can kind of feed off of that a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to like a conference specifically. It could just be a friend group. If you don't really have friends, maybe it's just a community thing, or maybe it's a family thing, right? But to be around people that elevate your energy, that's where you want to be. And I really like this a lot, because there's so much feminine energy here. Okay, we're trusting in the magic here. We have a lot of humility. Queen of Swords, Empress, Queen of Cups. It's all very feminine. This is a Libra card. This is a Cancer card. This is also a Libra card, by the way, because we've got the symbol of Venus here. This represents your midheaven, Cancer midheaven, right here. And that Cancer midheaven, prominent with the Sun, prominent with Jupiter. We'll have Mercury in there. Well, till the end of June anyway. Mercury will enter Leo on the 26th, but for the most part, Mercury will be in there too. So there's just going to be an authority, people looking to you, people seeing your beauty, people seeing your value, people seeing your talent, your skill, and perhaps this is a chance for you to get that recognition that you genuinely deserve. Now, I'm not, again, please keep in mind, I'm not saying it's all happening all at once. We still have to trust in the magic here. There is a process that we're going through. But I think with your decision making and your vision alignment and your ability to say no to things and to people and your drive to really bring things into manifested form, you become a little bit of a role model. People will look onto you and say, wow, Libra, like, I'm so proud of you. That's so great what you're doing. It inspires me to do the same. And I don't think you realize that you might actually be inspiring a lot of people, because I think you're working on, how do I just get myself to this next place? How do I just get myself to the next goal or the next goal post or mile post or whatever? But other people are not looking at you like that. They're not just seeing you, oh, you're just doing the next thing. They're seeing like, wow, look at that big thing you're doing. You know, other people won't see it that way. And I think you're going to command a lot of respect. But it's very soft. It's not like it's, you know, look at me, demanding attention or anything like that. It's deeply feminine. And because that feminine energy is so strong in this reading, it's going to feel like gravity. And like you're just pulling things into you without even really trying all that hard. It's like all you're doing is making good decisions. That's really all it is. You're making good decisions, you're setting firm boundaries, and you're working to bring things into form. That's it, period. But people are going to look at you from the outside in. They're going to be like, dang, Libra, holy cow, look at this. This is amazing. I'm so proud of you. This is like so inspiring. And I think there's going to be a pretty significant trickle-down effect. Now, again, this is all free will. I think there are many Libras who will get stuck here with that Knight of Cups and they'll just keep wandering or whatever, and that's fine. It just depends on if you're willing to change the modality right now. Because if you're willing to switch from Knight of Cups to Queen of Swords, grab the bull by the horns, the whole story is going to change. The whole story. But if not, you just stay at the Knight of Cups and things just keep going the same. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's just not your time. But I think you have so much support, especially now that Saturn is opposite of you for a while, for a couple months until he retrogrades back into Pisces. But he's opposite of you now, so he's really offering a lot of structure, okay, a lot of command. All right, we are going to pull clarifiers for the comprehensive reading, and you can find the comprehensive on my website, and I'll put the link in the description box in the pinned comment thread down below. We typically talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about these cards, so it's like a whole second reading. You can also subscribe to receive those every single month just automatically, so if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do that too. All the info is in the description box and comment thread, okay? All right, Libra, let's take a closer look at this Knight of Cups. What is it that you need to know here about this Knight of Cups? We have the Fool, Nine of Wands, and the Five of Wands. Okay. For the Queen of Swords, we have the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Knight of Coins. It kind of all comes back to the Virgo energy for some reason with that South Node in there. We've got the Page of Wands, Six of Swords. What was that? Oh, Four of. And Ten of Cups. Again, another Ten of Cups. Six of Coins, Three of Coins, Seven of Coins. A lot of material focus for you right now, Libra. Ace of Coins, the World, and Four of Wands. King of Wands, Six of Cups and the Star. Love the Star. It's like a destiny thing. An Emperor. Seven of Cups, Three of Wands. Wheel of Fortune. Really liking that Three of Cups a lot. Five of Swords, another Queen of Swords. Ace of Swords. Judgment. And another Empress. Beautiful. Okay, this is where we're going to pick up. All right, Libra, so if you want to join, all the info is down below. Thank you so much, Libra. I hope you have an amazing June, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.